As civilization developed, so Malta was invaded, and in the next 1,000 years the islands were tossed around in the struggle between Greeks, Etruscans, Romans and Carthaginians, all seeking to dominate the Mediterranean. At the end of the Punic Wars, Malta was firmly in the hands of the Roman Empire and lumped together for administrative purposes with Sicily. In those days, the capital of Malta was called Melita, today's Medina. The name came from the Greek word meaning honey. The city was perfectly positioned to withstand attack and sat in the middle of the island on a 500-foot high ridge, surrounded by fertile fields. Since this was where the Maltese nobility lived, archaeologists weren't altogether surprised to discover a Roman townhouse just outside the city gates.
It was found by accident in the 19th century, in 1881, and it was found to be a very rich, practically palatial house, richly decorated with mosaics as well as sculpture. The quality of its mosaics are really first class, they are really beautiful, and the house was also adorned with a set of sculpture which is quite singular. It represented probably a group of members of the imperial family, the family of Emperor Claudius, who reigned roughly between 40 and 50 AD. Normally, such groups of statuaries are found in temples or holy shrines. It could possibly be that the emperor might have visited the island, a visit which is not recorded in the ancient texts, and he was given the usual hospitality, and as a sign, as a token of his gratitude, he might have given a set of portraits of his family.
For the Maltese, Roman rule was a peaceful and prosperous time. It might have gone unremarked in history had it not been for the unexpected arrival of St. Paul, who was shipwrecked here in 60 AD.
When he was arrested, he was being tried, he said, "I am a Roman citizen, I have a right to be judged in Rome." And during the voyage to Rome, he was shipwrecked in Malta. It's one of those instances when something which seems to be a tragedy turns out into something which is beautiful. And it was beautiful for the Maltese people. St. Paul stayed here about 3 months. The Acts of the Apostles record the visit of St. Paul.
It is believed that St. Paul preached to the people and healed the ailing father of the local Roman governor, an act which resulted in the governor, Publius, being converted to Christianity and ultimately becoming the first bishop. The cathedral in Medina is built on the site of what was once the home of Publius. Malta was one of the first Roman colonies to become Christian. For most of his stay, St. Paul is said to have lived in this grotto just outside Melita in Rabat. Inside is a statue of the apostle, and behind lie catacombs where the dead were once buried in stone-cut tombs.
Traditionally, it was described as the place of where St. Paul lived. I think that many of these remains sometimes become an icon because they become something symbolical. But I think the value of a place like that is that it reminds us of the antiquity of our Catholicism. The Pope, when the Pope came to Malta, he spent some time in that place also praying. We will be celebrating in 65 years the 2000 years of Catholicism in Malta. There are not many countries like that.
On the island of Gozo, the Romans refortified the citadel and the town of Victoria. Salt pans that were cut into the rock are still in use today and produce tons of prime sea salt a year. For more information, visit our website on topoftheworld.net.